Hello again, everyone. This is Howard Cosell, speaking of sports.
You are listening to the Cheap Seats.
Who are these guys?
On Twitter at TCS Willis MSP Detterman, Spreaker and iHeartRadio.
Here is Steve and Steve.
Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Just a little last second Facebook update there. Good afternoon, everybody. XERS Radio. You are tuned in to the one, the only Cheap Seats. Brother, I am your host, Steve Willis. No Steve Detterman tonight. Just going to be flying solo, my man. And I am going to have a little bit of help later on. Todd Burlage is going to join us at the 7 o'clock hour from Blue and Gold Illustrated. And, of course, our buddy Josh Briggs with the NASCAR update at 7:30. He's going to be joining us a little bit later. The show's brought to you by Rock Sports Bar and Grill. For those that go to Rocks, we salute you. And it's, of course, brought to you by Scooby Subs. And right now, you can get toasted at Scooby's. Just head on down there, try their new line of toasted subs. You're gonna love the new stuff they got going on at Scooby's. So it has been one wild and woolly week in the NFL and in college football, and just all over the place. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on, but here a little closer to home. So we got Jay Cutler hurt now. Tony Romo is hurt now. Andrew Luck can't drop back in the pocket without getting smashed. It is just a crazy week 3, and week 3 is very significant, and here's why. Week 3 in the NFL means a lot, especially to the few teams that are 0-2. All right, when you go into week 3, obviously you've got normally just 3 records. 0-2, 1-1, 2-0. 1-1 is the majority of the league. 1-1 is, okay, we lost one, we won one, we're even. So we're going to move forward. No blood, no foul. 2-0 is, hey, we're riding high, we're doing really good. All right, hey, let's see what next week brings. Let's see if we can dominate one more week. Your confidence is high, you're ready to go. 0-2 is a little bit different ball game. 0-2 is, did we make the right decisions in the offseason? Are we doing the right things offensively? Is our defense doing what it needs to do? What about our kicking game? What about special teams? What about our coach? What about our quarterback? What about our offensive line? What about our running backs? The questions start to mount on 0-2. Why is it such a big deal not to come out of week 3 0-3? The 1998 Buffalo Bills. That is why you don't want to come out 0-3. Now, I know you're going to be like, what do you mean? The 98 Buffalo Bills, what's the significance there? The 98 Buffalo Bills were the last team to start 0-3 and actually make the playoffs. Not even do anything in the playoffs, just to get in the playoffs. That is why it's significant. That is why. 18 years was the last time a team that started 0-3 made it to the playoffs. So if you're a fan of an 0-2 team right now, if you're a fan of the Seattle Seahawks, if you're a fan of the Chicago Bears, if you're a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to be a little worried right now. History is not on your side. Right now, it is a very strange world you're living in because everything that your team does, everybody's going to call into question. The first 2 weeks of the season, the whole first 2 weeks of the season are going to be called into question. Regardless of if they're good, if they're not good, it doesn't matter. Another team that has very valid questions, in my opinion, the Indianapolis Colts. And here's why I say this. I have heard all week after that Jets game, the Colts-Jets game, where the Indianapolis Colts turned the ball over 5 times. Andrew Luck threw 3 interceptions. There were 2 fumbles. Frank Gore couldn't even pile up 100 yards to the Jets. The Jets are not a phenomenal team by any stretch. They're not terrible. But you expect the Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton and Frank Gore, they should be able to run up and down the field on him. No, not at all. In fact, it was quite the opposite. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall and that JETS Jets offense were the ones that were running up and down the field against the Colts defense. But why couldn't the Colts answer back? It's the same reason why the Colts couldn't do anything in week 1. It's the same reason why the Colts couldn't do anything with Trent Richardson last year. They don't have an offensive line. And everybody is blaming Andrew Luck. Oh, well, Andrew Luck can't throw a pass. Andrew Luck, doesn't remember what team he's on, and Andrew Luck is not thinking straight, and he's doing this and he's doing that. Have you ever seen an offense where Frank Gore is running the ball and he can't get 100 yards? In 2 games, he couldn't average 90 yards a game. Forget touchdowns. I just want to see him break the century mark. If you have Frank Gore as your running back, who is a fantastic, one of the top 10 running backs in the league, in my opinion, and he can't get 100 yards a game, there's something wrong with your offensive line. If you watch that game at all, and a lot of people that are throwing Andrew Luck under the bus, they didn't watch the game or they didn't watch it very closely. And I say that because of this. If you watch Andrew Luck drop back in desperate need of making some kind of a play, you saw the same thing almost every time. He would throw his arm up to throw the ball, and he's already running for his life. Quarterbacks average, about 3.5 seconds in the pocket before they're hit. Andrew Luck's getting like a second and a half. I mean, it's almost like his offensive line is just sidestepping the second the ball is snapped. And he's like, here you go. Go ahead. Just cradle his head on the way down. I mean, it's almost like they're not even trying. And you can tell the teams that have worked from the inside out, building up their team, and the teams that have worked from the outside in. The Colts are one of those teams that here in the last couple of years, they built from the outside in. Ask Al Davis how that worked in Oakland throughout the late 90s, early 2000s, what that was like, drafting wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks every year and having the same old tired offensive line around them. It doesn't work. What are the good running teams in the NFL right now? The Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers. Do they all have outstanding running backs? They have good running backs, yeah. Who are the least sacked quarterbacks in the NFL right now? I'll bet if you look, those 3 teams are right near the top. Why is that? Offensive line. Offensive line. I know you're saying, well, Tony Romo's hurt. He's out. Brandon Whedon's starting this weekend. That's true. Tony Romo hurt himself on a non-contact play. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm not. It's not non-contact, but I mean he was outside of the pocket. It wasn't a sack in the pocket. He was outside trying to make a play. If you look at all three of those teams, the one common denominator is each and every one of them every year goes and gets more pieces. Hell, the Kansas City Chiefs don't have a single person on the offensive line this year as from last year. All five guys are brand new. All five guys are gone. It wasn't working last year. What'd they do? Retooled the entire offensive line. Five guys that have never played a game together. And they go out and just make gaping holes for Jamal Charles to run through. These nice, cozy pockets for Alex Smith to step in and make throws. The Kansas City Chiefs had 5 turnovers last weekend too. The difference is those turnovers weren't from pressure. They're from mistakes, but they weren't from pressure. They weren't from pressure on the quarterback. They weren't from pressure up the middle, stopping Jamal Charles. Charles had 2 bad cases of Butterfingers in 2 very unfortunate parts of the game, I might add. Alex Smith, defense made 1 really good play. And the other one, his arm was hit because it was the one time they had gotten to him the entire quarter. And they didn't even get to him. It was just a reach out, a lunge at the ball, and he happened to catch his arm. So when you look at a team that is actually built from the inside out, it is a huge, huge difference than a team that was built from the outside. And look at Chip Kelly. Look at the Eagles right now. Oh, but the Eagles got DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray was a stud in Dallas. What's DeMarco Murray done in that offensive line? Nothing. He hasn't done a thing like what he did in Dallas. Why? Because he doesn't have that same world-class offensive line to run behind. So shout out to the grunts out there. Shout out to the offensive lines of the world. You guys are the reason why DeMarco Murray was the rushing champion last year. You guys are the reason why Alex Smith is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, or at least in the top 3. You guys are the reason why Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. That's why. That's why. To all you out there that coach little kids, to all you out there that coach the Pee Wee League football and high school football and stuff like that, that is where you start. That is your focus. Block, tackle, the keys to playing football. All this other flashy stuff, all this other stuff's cool and all, but the champions, they learn the basics, they maintain the basics, they make it look sexy later on, but they do the grunt work, and they're good at the grunt work. That's why the Pittsburgh Steelers are always in the playoff talk. Beginning of the season, middle of the season, end of the season. Up until recently, that's why the Baltimore Ravens were too. It's why the New England Patriots are every year a favorite to win the AFC. because the Patriots do things the right way. Don't get. I know cheating Tom Brady and cheating Bill Belichick, and no, I know that. I'm talking on the field, their ability to do the basics, what they need to do. They do it the right way. And if you notice the correlation here, not a single one of those teams that I had mentioned are 0-2. In fact, 2 of them are 2-0 and 1 is 1-1. Could have been 2-0 very easily. All because they do it the right way. If you're going out tonight at the Phoenix Grill, Milligan's Island, is going to be out there on Friday night. Joe Feingold Project's going to be out there on Saturday night. Phoenix Grill's pretty good. They're pretty neat. They're an awesome place. Definitely a place to go out and check out. So I had a whole lot of stuff like I was thinking about, oh man, I need to talk about this. I want to talk about that. What should I bring up first? And I couldn't decide, and I was like, you know what, just bring up football. Football sounds good. Let's just go there. And I was like, all right, yeah, let's do that. Let's do the football thing. You know, we'll get that started. Everybody loves football, right? I mean, you all love football. Why not? And then I looked down at my shirt, and I was like, oh, that's right. I do want to get to mentioning that. And as I'm mentioning, I'm checking the score right now. Do you know just kind of step away from the NFL just for a second? Do you know the Chicago Cubs are looking to wrap up and lock themselves in a playoff spot today? So kind of on bated breath there to see how that turned out. And actually, it looks like it didn't turn out so well. Looks like Pittsburgh got them 3-2. Oh, that's a shame. Cubbies got a run in the 9th to try and come back and couldn't do it. John Lester gets a loss. He's 10-12 on the season right now. So they're going up against some pretty tough pitching in Garrett Cole, though. I mean, 18-8 on the season, and man, the dude pitches lights out. So, well, we'll give it another shot. Give it another shot tomorrow. Lester went for 7 innings. 7 innings. ERA at 3.43 today. So, yeah, what are you going to do? Hey, you know what though? How good has this season looked for the Cubs? I mean, just ridiculous. How good has this season looked? How good have some of these players looked? I mean, seriously. Chris Bryant? I mean, where did this kid come from? Does anybody else remember that Chris Bryant's actually a rookie? Today he had 2 hits. 2 hits and a run today. Run scored. He struck out twice, but I mean, dude, the kid's slugging .501. 278 batting average as a rookie. And he's playing some of his best baseball after the All-Star break when rookies usually peter out. So, I mean, he looks really strong, man. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of the Cubs. So, really liking what I'm seeing out of him. Good news is Andrew McCutchen went hitless. He went 0 for 2 strikeouts. So, that's pretty cool. Just looking at some of the Aramis Ramirez, God, you remember him? He got a hit. 3 official at-bats. He got 1 hit, 1 strikeout. It's pretty typical Aramis Ramirez fashion. If you're a Cubs fan, you remember him very, very well. So, yet again, we got to wait one more day. Got to wait one more day to see the Cubs do it. And that was game 1 of a 3-game weekend series. So game 2 is tomorrow, 1:00. We will have to wait until then. I don't know what. I I think who's chasing him? The Giants right now, I think, is who's chasing him. I mean, seriously. I just want to see the Cubs get into the playoffs. I don't care. I don't even care if they make it like to the World Series. I mean, I do care. I want to see them do it, but I mean, it wouldn't kill me just to see them make it to the playoffs and play in the playoffs. Boy, that'd be awesome. It really would. It really would. Another team I'd like to see, actually, I did see that. The Royals have won the division. Boy, that's the first time in like 30 years that the Royals took the AL Central. That is a long time, man. 30 years ago. What was it? 30 years ago we're talking back in the 1980s. So would that have been the 85 Royals? I'm going to have to look that up. I think that would have been like the 85 Royals, the World Series winning Kansas City Royals. So that would have, that was the last time. That was the last time that they won that division. Wow, that'd be something. 30 years. God, could you imagine the clubhouse when they officially won that? That champagne had to be really well fermented. It'd be some good stuff. I would. You know what? I'd love to be in that clubhouse. I really would. I'd love to be in the Cubs clubhouse when they win the division, or the year they win the division. Doesn't look like they're going to do it this year, but the year they win a division, definitely would want to be in there. I would also want to be in there when they win the National League pennant and they actually have their shot in the World Series. Even before they make it to the World Series. Oh man, could you imagine that? What a crazy clubhouse that would be. I mean, champagne everywhere. They'd have throwing pies and food. It'd look like an old Western film when just things got crazy and they had one of those weird saloon brawls where everybody's just beating on everybody and stuff like that, but in a good way, not in a try and hurt each other way, but in a celebratory way. It'd be amazing. It would. I mean, there'd be all kinds of stuff going on. Probably, all kinds of craziness. So anyhow, if the Cubs make it to the World Series, imagine the party in Chicago. I mean, just imagine that. I'm going to have to be down there. I got to be down there. Addison and Clark. I've got to get down there and check that out. Seriously. I'll take a bulletproof vest with me. We'll be right back. We got a whole bunch up ahead. Todd Burlage coming in a little bit later. The web, we're going to be giving away one more jersey for the Dress Like a Champion giveaway, the Dress Like a Champion promotion that we got going on here on the Cheap Seats. That is going on right now. You need to go to Facebook. Promoting Facebook on this one. Go to Facebook. If you are not if you do not like the page already, you need to go like the page. Go to Facebook, in the search bar, The Cheap Seats with Steve. Pull that up in the search bar, and that will take you to our Facebook page. And there, you have the note for the giveaway, our last Notre Dame jersey. All you have to do is just come on the page, like the page, and then post to the page your favorite Notre Dame player of all time. It doesn't even have to be football. It can be basketball too. Favorite Notre Dame player of all time. Winner will be picked tonight. I'll announce a winner on the show. If I don't announce a winner on the show, I'll announce it on Facebook. So one way or another. It depends on if we run out of time or whatnot. So that is coming up here in just a second. We're going to be right back. When we come back, big game Monday night. Huge game. Two really good teams. And what teams are going to be missing the play? I'm already going to give you probably the hottest take in sports on the other side of this break. What teams I am going to say will not make the playoffs this year based on what they've done in the first 2 weeks. That's coming up right on the other side of this. You're listening to Cheap Seats on XERS Radio.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Mel Williams, XERS Radio. Be sure to join me Monday nights, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the Michiana Scene. We'll be showcasing local musicians, playing their music, and listening to their stories. And they all have great stories. So come on out to Pleasant Valley every Monday night at 6 p.m. Michiana Scene on XERS Radio. See you then. Wow! Monday nights.
Audio recording services for all your recording needs. Songwriters, comedians, band demos, commercials, voiceovers, narration, sound effects, background music. Give us a call, 574-274-8046. Kickstart Studios at Comcast.net. Or like us on Facebook at Kickstart Studios.
Option 5, located in Mishawaka, Indiana, specializes in hand-built boutique guitar effects pedals. Option 5 has been producing the highest quality pedals right here in northern Indiana since 2002, and they continue to create original, non-copy designs today. Option 5 is not simply tweaking popular pedals and then slapping their name on them. They're producing groundbreaking effects designed for guitarists of all styles. And Option 5 doesn't just build cool pedals. They provide top-notch repair service as well. Option 5 repairs pedals and PA equipment, can modify and retube amplifiers, and service or repair Hammond organs and Leslie speakers. If you're looking for the highest quality effects pedals and the best in repair and customer service, check out Option 5 in Mishawaka at 1126 East Jefferson. Give them a call at 574-255-6539 or online at option5effects.com. That's option, the number 5fx.com. Option 5. Let tone abound.
This is Deanna Lynn Bennett, and you're listening to XERS Radio.
Friday night at Cheers Pub, Zero is coming up. That is tonight. Get your butt down there, check out Zero. And then Saturday night, Nearly Naked. Sounds like a typical Saturday night to me, but that's going to be at Cheers Pub. I've never been nearly naked at Cheers Pub. I've been nearly naked a few places, but Cheers Pub's not one of them. That's probably why I'm still allowed to go back there. I'm just saying. Now, Cheap Seats, Steve Willis flying solo tonight. Go check us out on the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Cheap Seats with Steve. And that is the place to be. That's the place to check us out. If you want to check me out on Twitter, you want to just hop on Twitter, shoot me something on Twitter. TCS Willis. That is my handle, at TCS Willis. I am on Instagram now. I was a holdout. I wasn't a big fan. The whole idea, Instagram, your whole life through pictures. I was like, wow, really? Kind of a private guy. not a big fan of the whole idea of pictures and maybe, throwing the pictures out there for people to see. But you know what? I changed my mind. I decided to go with Twitter. So Instagram rather. So there I am on Instagram. So it's Cheap Seats Willis on Instagram. So check that out. So everything at the very beginning of a season is a hot take. Everything. And in this business, what hot take means, for those of you that are not hip to the lingo, hot take is essentially this. When you say something completely outlandish, like something that, there's absolutely no way that you could possibly be correct, except for maybe this one little narrow path where things happen to fall perfectly in line. Like me going in 2016 saying, this is the year, put it on the board, the Cubs win the World Series. Something like that. That is a hot take. If I come in and say, hey, the New England Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl this year, that's not really a hot take because the odds are pretty good. This is an example of a hot take. The Cleveland Browns actually will be in the playoff race at the end of the year. That is a hot take. And I actually believe that. I really do. Last week, that game, Johnny Manziel looked amazing. He looked phenomenal. And it only took a week and a half for them to figure out, hey, guess what? We need Johnny Manziel. Get this kid off the bench. Take that clipboard, give him his helmet, get him out there. Come on, kid, let's go. He looked amazing. They looked very good. They really did. So that is a hot take. I will tell you this, though. You remember what I said at the start of the show? There's 3 records you're going to see in week 3. 2-0, 1-1, 0-2. Not a big shock there. Like I said, if you're a fan of the New England Patriots, if you're a fan of the New York Jets, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Denver Broncos, if you're a fan of any of those teams, you're pretty happy right now. Pretty happy with yourself, patting yourself on the back. Hey, good job, way to go. If you're a fan of the Baltimore Ravens, the Texans, the Colts, you're not a big fan right now. You're not a very happy camper. If you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, Falcons, the Panthers of all teams, or the Cardinals, you're pretty happy right now. If you're a fan of the Eagles, the Lions, the Bears, the Saints, the Seahawks, a couple of those teams, boy, you are really scratching your head going, what went wrong? Listen to this list again. Eagles, Lions, Bears, Saints, Seahawks. Lions, Bears, I'll give you those. If you told me at the very beginning of the season, by the time we come to week 3, the Lions and the Bears are both going to be 0-2, and looking up at the Vikings and the Packers at least 1-1 or better, I would have looked at you and said, no kidding. Not a big surprise. If you would have came to me and said, hey, by the start of week 3, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New Orleans Saints, and the Seattle Seahawks won't have one win between the 3 of them. Out of 6 games, there won't be one single win. I'd look at you and say, you are smoking bath salts. There is no way that those 3 teams aren't going to have a single win. Guess what? Not a single one of them teams has a win right now. The Saints, I mean, how pathetic do the Saints look right now? They look absolutely pathetic. And they look like they are going to be an awful team in the most awful division in football right now, the NFC South. The Falcons and the Panthers at 2-0. Now, mind you, the Falcons, they're surprising a few people. They're definitely surprising me. I mean, they're putting up a fair amount of points. Their defense is holding. It's not doing great, but they're holding. But they've done what they needed to do in their conference so far. They've beaten 2 teams in their conference. They've done what they needed to do. I am happy for them, but they look really good doing it. They look very stout. They look like a team that, in a tight game, you think they really have a shot. They don't look like a team that's going to fold up. Even Tampa Bay is sitting atop the Saints right now at 1-1. Jameis Winston got off the schneid, didn't he? He's hearing everything about Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans and how good Marcus Mariota did that first week, and he's like, man, I gotta get me a win under my belt, and they went out and did it, and it's a good job. I mean, if anybody thinks right now that Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota are going to carry either of their teams to the playoffs, they're out of their mind. It's not going to happen. I mean, hey, it's a good story. It's a real good story, but it's not going to happen. But look, I teased this, and here's my pick. Here are my teams in the AFC and the NFC. We're going to go AFC first. The NFC is going to surprise a few more people. The Baltimore Ravens, I think, are out of the playoffs this year. Cincinnati has looked really good. They have scored a ton of points, and they're not giving up many. Right now, in 2 games, their net points are 25 over. So, in other words, they've scored 25 more points than what they've given up. That's better than the Patriots. That is better than every team in the AFC with the exception of the New York Jets. That's amazing. They've scored 25 more points than what they've given up. That tells you that their offense is very good. Especially they've scored 57 points in 2 games. I mean, their offense is really humming right now. It's about time because they've been primed to do this for a while. The Ravens, though, you've started 0-2. You've already lost 2 conference games. Not division, but conference. You can only muster up the end zone 4 times in those 2 games, which, that sounds like a lot, but when you have generally a fairly good starting field position, that's not a lot. It really isn't. Because, they've given up 56 points in those 2 games, which means they're getting the ball kicked off a lot to them. You got a lot of chance for special teams to make an opportunity. You're not getting it done. You're not getting down the field. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. That team is disintegrating. I said it earlier this week. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Brian Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network, and I was telling him that we are watching the Baltimore Ravens just collapse right before our eyes. It is over in Baltimore. It is over. Sorry, Ravens fans. It's over. Your defense is not, it's nothing like what it was with Terrell Suggs. And now it's over. And now the offense can't get it together either. It's done. It's over. The other team that I'm gonna give you one more in the AFC. The other team I think is going to miss the playoffs. I think the Colts are going to miss the playoffs. Indianapolis Colts will miss the playoffs. Yes. Andrew Luck with T.Y. Hilton, with Frank Gore to take some pressure off of him, still can't do better than 21 points in the first 2 games. That incredible offense can score only 21 points, 3 touchdowns. That's all they've gotten. Can't even get in field goal range. 3 touchdowns. And they are giving it up. Their defense is the same way it's been the last couple of years. You can run on their defense. You can pass on their defense. They try and play bend and not break. The problem is they forget not to break. You can score all day on that defense. And now with the offensive line just so terrible, not giving Andrew Luck any time, not giving even the tightest hole for Frank Gore to squeeze through, that offense is going nowhere fast. They've got 3 touchdowns on the books because of how good Andrew Luck actually is. And that is the only reason why they haven't been shut out completely the first 2 games. Because I'll tell you right now, if it's not Andrew Luck under center and it's Jay Cutler or Brandon Whedon or Ryan Tannehill under center with that offensive line, there'd be a big fat goose egg in the points scored column for those 2 games. They would have been shut out 2 games in a row. That is how bad the Indianapolis Colts are right now. Now, let's go to the NFC side. Let's drop down to the NFC side. By the way, got a new computer, touch screen. God, I love this thing. Sometimes I forget it's touch screen. I'm down here with the mouse scroller going, oh, God, there's a pain in the butt. And I'm like, I just want it smaller. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Pinch, drag, spread. Like, boy, that's nice. All right, so out of the NFC teams, my 2 hot takes here. The New Orleans Saints are not going to make the playoffs. Sorry, Saints fans. You guys are rooting for a team that just ain't going to... They can't stop anybody right now. They are a couple of touchdowns away from having a century hung on them in 2 games. 80 points. That is terrible. That's horrible. And they can't put anything together offensively. 38 points in the last 2 games. That's it. I mean, that seems like a lot, but 38 points in 2 games doesn't spread out very, very well. That's pretty thin. And they already have 1 divisional loss, which is not good. That is my hot take. That's my big hot take. The other one's not quite as big, but once again, it doesn't really surprise me. Just because as big a monster as what everybody made him up to be, I knew they weren't building this thing the right way. Once again, no offensive line help. Philadelphia Eagles 0-2. They will miss the playoffs. I think they go 8-8. That's going to be it. You know, got to be honest, Chip Kelly backed the wrong horse with Sam Bradford. I just don't know what he's seeing in Sam Bradford. He could have stuck with Mick Foles. He would have been much better off. Instead, he goes out and gets Bradford. He gets DeMarco Murray, who was the NFL rushing champion last year because of the best offensive line that the Dallas Cowboys have seen since the days of the trio, since the days of the triplets, since the days of Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. That is how good that offensive line is. DeMarco Murray is an 800-yard running back at best without that offensive line. And that is what you're seeing in Philly right now. That's what you're seeing. So, yes, the Philadelphia Eagles and this offense, which does not give the player time to regroup. They want to run like you do in college. Hey, I got news for you. That ain't going down in the NFL. That is not happening in the NFL. You are going to do more harm than good. Now, let me go the other way. Let me make a couple of teams, fans, really happy here. Let's go the other way. Let's look at this. I think the Jets have a really good shot at making the playoffs. I think they have a really good shot at taking a wild card spot. Now, I don't see them winning the division. That is the Patriots' division to lose. And I don't think the Patriots are going to lose it. But I see the Jets making a run. They look really good. Ryan Fitzpatrick is good, people. He is good. He was good when the world got introduced to him in Buffalo. He was a recipient of a few bad teams. That's why he didn't look good the last couple of places he went. That's why he didn't look good in Tennessee. That's why he didn't look good in Houston. There were bad teams around him. He comes to the Jets. They start putting a good team together. He looks good. He should. He is good. Really smart. Really very smart guy. Would hate to play a game of chess with him. The other team I think has a shot at making the playoffs. Like I had said, the Cleveland Browns. I really think they have a shot. It is a good division to try and win. I'm not 100% sure they have a shot at winning it because, really, they're neck and neck with the Steelers right now. The Bengals are sitting on top of them. The Bengals could fall apart, though. The Bengals are one of those teams that you look at it, if you're in Vegas and you're looking at the Bengals, you're going, I don't know if I'm buying that 2-0 right now. Boy, they look good. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to buy 2-0 right now. Not on them. Talk to me when they're 5-0. Hell, talk to me when they're 5-1. Don't talk to me about the Bengals at 2-0. I'm not buying it yet. Give me time. Give me time on that. I do have one of these teams, one 2-0 team that's a total sham. They shouldn't be 2-0 right now, and they aren't playing like they're 2-0. That's the Denver Broncos. And don't give me the sour grapes bull crap because it's not sour grapes. They don't look good. Peyton Manning has looked good for one game, and that was actually because he looked good for the second half of last week's game and the first half of the week before. You only get half a game out of Peyton Manning anymore. Half a game. That's all you get out of Peyton Manning right now. We were actually talking about this. I was on the Casey Hendrickson show earlier before I came on, and we were talking about that in studio before we went on the air. There are so many people that look at somebody like Peyton Manning and they forget that this isn't 2003, 2004 Peyton Manning. This isn't 2005 Super Bowl Peyton Manning. This is 2015 Father Time has caught up with him Peyton Manning. This is 4 years removed from neck surgery Peyton Manning. This is a Peyton Manning who can't feel the football when he throws it. Look, the only person that's undefeated in sports is Father Time. Eventually, he will win over everybody. And a lot of people forget that. I mean, I remember when Michael Jordan first came back in the NBA, when Michael Jordan first came back from playing baseball, and he was great, man. I mean, he came back, he won 3 more titles with the Chicago Bulls, and then after a while, that was it. It was over. But Michael Jordan hung on. He played for the Wizards, and and he didn't look the same. But there were still so many people. Oh man, the Wizards are going to the finals, man. They got Jordan. No. They have Michael Jordan in body. They don't have Michael Jordan in talent. The Denver Broncos, they're going to win a Super Bowl. Well, granted, they went to 2 Super Bowls. Or no, they went to 1 Super Bowl, I'm sorry. And they got mopped. I mean, mopped by a mediocre offense and probably the best defense to play the game since the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. They got mopped. So don't tell me, they went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl and got their clock cleaned. The first play from scrimmage, Peyton Manning, loses the football out the back of the end zone for a safety. Very first play from scrimmage. I mean, that was a precursor for how that entire game went. That's how bad that team looked in that game, and that was the start of things to come. You notice they never really recovered from that fully. Regular season, they do okay, but once you get into playoffs, that's it. It's over. It is over. And honestly, the 1 Super Bowl Peyton Manning won, the defense had just as much to do with it as the offense did. And rarely could you say that about any Indianapolis Colts team that Peyton Manning captained. So that was a rare occurrence. So I will concede that yes, Manning has won a Super Bowl and he's played in 2. But the one that he won in was not just his own skill, because he is Peyton Manning. He still is a very smart quarterback, and he's a good quarterback. Great student of the game, which makes him a great quarterback as far as the chess match of the game goes. But as far as physical tools and stuff like that, they weren't fantastic coming out of Tennessee. Remember, and this is not like breaking news or anything, Peyton Manning threw ducks. He had always thrown ducks. Now he's throwing really ugly ducks. I mean, the kind that you shoot down just to be merciful. So, his tools have fallen even further off. So I think, I've been saying it all year. This is hook time for Peyton Manning. This is it. He may not say it right now, but every time he gets racked in the pocket, every time he throws a wounded duck that goes back the other way for 6, every time he overthrows a receiver or underthrows a receiver in a simple flag route that I've seen him hit Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison on 100 times, and I see him miss it 3 times in a row in the Chiefs game, that is going to sit on his brain, not just through the season, but through the off season. It is going to ride with him for a long time. And somebody like Peyton Manning is not going to like that much. And I think it's going to eventually lead to him calling it quits after this season. I would be very, very surprised if he comes back, honestly. So that's the way I see it for him. Just real quickly, NFC side. Looking at their schedule, and knowing the division that they're playing in, I could see the Cowboys still making the playoffs. You get Tony Romo back in about 5-6 weeks, back on the field in about 7 or 8. Remember, this is non-throwing shoulder they hurt. Non-throwing collar or side of the body. So a little extra padding on the old collarbone after it's mended for about 6 weeks, and he could be good to go. In the meantime, you have a very capable Brandon Weeden. They just went out and got Matt Castle to back him up. You're still running the ball well. You still got the best offensive line in the game. And you still have a very, very capable defense. I could see the Dallas Cowboys still making the playoffs. And the fact that they're 2-0, that definitely helps. And everybody else in that division has 2 losses. So technically, they're at the very least a game and a half up on everybody. And the other team that I see making the playoffs is the Minnesota Vikings. I see the Vikings making the playoffs. They look good. Teddy Bridgewater looks amazing. They started running the ball with Adrian Peterson. He is going to be key to what that offense does. They were a okay offense without Adrian Peterson. You add Adrian Peterson, who I just got done talking all that stuff about Peyton Manning and age catching up to him and everything. Adrian Peterson's running the ball like he's still 27. He's still amazing. I don't know how running backs do that. It's so amazing. Anyhow, I see the Minnesota Vikings making the playoffs too. Wild card, because I think Green Bay will win that division. But I see the Vikings making the playoffs. I actually see the Vikings in a battle for that division later on as we get a little closer to Christmas. I see that happening. And I'll be right back. When we come back, trap game? Really? Is that what we're thinking? Todd Burley is going to tell us if he thinks Notre Dame is going to fall into the trap this weekend against UMass before their big game with Clemson, coming off of that big game with Georgia Tech. And that's all coming right on the other side of this. You're listening to the Cheap Seats on XERS Radio.
Hey ladies, tired of the same old story? Getting promised all this big meat only to find out it's just the same old average helping? You need someone that can satisfy all your cravings.
You know what she needs? She needs some Scoobies.
Scoobies, oh yeah.
Scoobies at 223 North Main Street in downtown Mishawaka can satisfy all your cravings with freshly made subs, pasta, sandwiches, and even homemade cheesecake.
Cheesecake too? I think I'm in love.
And you'll be in love with the great menu that Scoobies has to offer with specialties like their very own chicken, bacon, and ranch sub. And right now, for the summertime, Michiana's best tasting Chicago dog featuring a quarter-pound all-beef hot dog.
That's more than a mouthful.
And if you need something to wash down all that meat, mention you heard this advertisement on XERS Radio and get a free drink with any purchase.
Ladies, you won't be disappointed with this 7-inch.
That's Scoobies, downtown Mishawaka, home of the biggest 7-inch around.
Danielle Slav from Cheers Pub here. If you're looking for the best live music in Michiana, Cheers Pub is for you. Established in 1982, Cheers has become a well-known venue featuring local, regional, and national acts. Hard rock, metal, indie, and classic rock music is featured weekly on our newly remodeled stage. We have karaoke on Wednesday nights, drink specials nightly, 4 Horsemen Pizza, and a full menu to curb your appetite. We're open 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Located at 103 Dixie Way South in Roseland. Cheers Pub, where friends become family.
Have you heard those 2 wacky guys, Chris and Ginn, on the Life is Art Also show? They share their favorite songs and their future favorites too. They have live interviews with authors, comedians, artists, and musicians, and lots more. They also have a Word of the Week with Mad Dog Ho, the official lexicographer of Internet Radio. Tune in every Thursday, 6 p.m. on xers.com.
Linda here, host of MDG's All Access Pass. Do you like to rock? I know you do. How about some metal bands? Great, I have exactly what you're looking for. James Rowe from MDG Music Discussion Group and myself have teamed up to bring you local, regional, and national bands, news, reviews, and of course, shenanigans. Join us every Monday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, for MDG's All Access Pass, only on the X, xersradio.com.
What's up, y'all? It's Jason Roos from Velvet Jones, and I listen to XERS Radio.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Mel Williams, XERS Radio. Be sure to join me Monday nights, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the Michiana Scene. We'll be showcasing local musicians, playing their music, and listening to their stories. And they all have great stories. So come on out to Pleasant Valley every Monday night at 6 p.m. Michiana Scene on XERS Radio. See you then. Wow! Monday nights.
Tune in Wednesday night at 6 p.m. for Through the Deep Tracks with Bill McDonald.
We want to welcome you back to XERS Radio Through the Deep Tracks show tonight, and we're traveling down the highway here. Strap on your helmet, board the short bus. It's going to be a rough ride. You're traveling the deep tracks tonight with Mr. Bell. We're in Through the Deep Tracks. And I want to wish him a happy birthday. We're going to carry on now with a song from the Rolling Stones. And actually, it was this week. And a happy birthday this week. He just turned 62 this week. And we're going to finish out the evening with a track here, the third track from the album.
Wednesday nights at 6, only on the X, xersradio.com. Through the Deep Tracks.
Hey guys, it's the bartender for Rock Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Mishawaka, Indiana. Football season's upon us, and there's no better place to catch the game than Rock Sports Bar and Grill. Along with the best collection of memorabilia from your favorite sports greats to all the games on our big screens, Rock's has you covered. Our menu features something for everyone. Amazing sandwiches and wraps, and the best burgers around, including the Rockstar Overdose. It's 2 half-pound patties served with bacon, cheddar cheese, piled high with french fries. Make sure you got your cardiologist on speed dial for this one. Find us on Facebook to check out our daily food and drink specials that are sure to be great for your gut and easy on your wallet. We've got you covered in between game days too. Wednesday night is trivia night where you can match wits with your buddies for great prizes. And during football season, tailgate Thursdays featuring dollar dogs, tacos, and fries. And every weekend, Rock features great acoustic music from some of Michiana's finest artists. Come see why there's no better place to get your fan fix than Rock Sports Bar and Grill, located in the Yorktown Center Building in downtown Mishawaka. For those who come to Rocks, we salute you.
Hello again, everyone. This is Howard Cosell, speaking of sports.
You are listening to the Cheap Seats.
Who are these guys?
On Twitter at TCSWillisMSP Detterman, Spreaker and iHeartRadio.
Here is Steve and Steve.
Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Ah, boy, here we go.
And we're back. Hour 2, you are listening to the Cheap Seats on XERS Radio. Steve Willis flying solo tonight. No Steve Detterman. He will be back with us next week. I told you, though, I was going to employ some help. And hour 1 was all me. Hour 2 is going to be the casting call for all of my good friends to join me here on the hotline. And first up is going to be my buddy Todd Burlage. We're going to talk some Irish football. And I have to stop just 1 second, Todd, and blow my own horn because of all of the media that was out there talking about Georgia Tech and how Georgia Tech was going to handle Notre Dame and Notre Dame couldn't handle Georgia Tech. I stood in the face of all of you and said, hey, they got a shot. Did they look good against that triple option. What did you think?
Yeah, for sure. And as a matter of fact, Steve, I went into that thinking Georgia Tech was going to squeak by, but after watching pregame the entire Saturday morning, it's easy to backtrack and whatnot, but it was one of those situations where everybody picked Georgia Tech. I started thinking as that day went on, this could be interesting. Now, I would have never expected, I know the score doesn't look at 30-22, the final score of that game.
No, that's very deceiving.
That's really how Notre Dame truly outplayed and did everything needed to do. But yeah, you did indeed call that ahead of time. And yeah, good call. You just get that sort of desperate team in a tough situation, all the cards stacked against them. That is such a great motivating factor for any coach. And Brian Kelly obviously played it well. The Irish get out of there with a great victory and a chance to survive and advance, move up 2 spots, number 6 in the poll. And you just, in this day and age of college football, you just keep plugging along. I don't think, especially with the selection committee for a playoff, style points don't matter as much, and none of that stuff's as important as it used to be. The polls don't mean crap anymore. So yeah, great win, Stephen. Definitely a good call on your part.
Now, when you look at the way the Irish are playing right now, obviously when you have Folson go down right away, they lose their tight end, they lose Malik Zaire. Obviously Brian Kelly's brought a next man up kind of feel into this locker room and kind of that mentality. And it just seems like and this has kind of happened since Folson went down. They have this one game at a time mentality, and that's kind of the vibe that you're getting around campus right now. One game at a time, and wouldn't that be the best way to go in their situation right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it all sounds cliche, and perhaps it is a little bit cliche when you talk about next man in, next man up, and next, one game at a time.
Sure.
But I think it's become so important for this program for a couple of reasons. First of all, as we move through this thing, Notre Dame does. They're working with some guys that aren't familiar. They're young guys playing new positions because they've been thrust into action when they really weren't perhaps expected to get as many snaps as they're getting. So yeah, I think that becomes part of that sort of one game at a time thing. If we can survive this one, okay, well, Jerry Tillery at the nose guard, filling in for Jaron Jones, CJ Procise, who we will talk about here shortly, he's learning on the fly. The guys behind Procise, they're learning on the fly. A new tight end, Alize Jones, learning on the fly. So I think under the circumstances with the injuries, everything Notre Dame is up against, I think that fits this one game at a time mentality, because it's more so not just trying to win, it's trying to get some young guys reps and get a little more comfortable. Obviously, I'm missing the obvious, and Deshaun Kaiser, the quarterback, obviously just getting them snaps, getting them more comfortable in the system week to week. It really lends itself to exactly what you're saying. And certainly where any coach will tell you game at a time, I think given what Notre Dame's up against, I think it's vitally important that they just sort of survive and advance at this point and try to get this team ready. And that's why I'm excited. We'll get into UMass, obviously, but I'm excited that they should be able to get this week done because, they're going to now play following UMass. They're going to play Clemson, Navy, and USC, 3 teams. If you want to lump 3 consecutive games on Notre Dame's schedule, the toughest 3-game stretch, it would be this one coming up after UMass. 3 teams with a combined 7-1 record. So you're exactly right in the point that, yeah, one game at a time. Let's just groom these guys as we go. Gives us an extra week of practice. Gives these guys more game reps. and move forward from there. So I totally agree with you, Steve.
It's almost like you and I have been doing this a long time because you just led me right into my next question. And we have been doing this a long time, by the way. That actually leads me right into UMass. Now, there are rumors, not rumors, but there are whispers out there right now of trap game, and obviously we're looking at the record of Coach Kelly being 2-3 after Navy in his history at Notre Dame, and 1-1 besides in big emotional games like this, and so the history is there to say that Notre Dame does have a tendency under Coach Kelly to kind of fall into that trap game mentality when you have a weaker opponent sandwiched in between two big games. Where is their focus? I mean, how hard is it to kind of focus on UMass when you know you've got Clemson coming up right around the corner?
Yeah, I think there's a little something there to that, but at the same time, Notre Dame's a 30-point favorite tomorrow, so I don't know that this fits the profile of what you're talking about, where Notre Dame has struggled coming off the Navy game. They've had a lot of bad injuries in previous Navy games. Obviously, the Drew Tranquil thing is no blessing that happened during Georgia Tech, and we're comparing similar offenses, so I understand where you're going with this. But at the same time, you're a 30-point favorite at home. I don't know that this particular game fits that profile. I think the number one, in all honesty, I think Brian Kelly is keeping his fingers crossed and hoping like crazy that Notre Dame can really get up in this game and he can get some of these more inexperienced players playing time. Dexter Williams at running back, Josh Adams at running back, and maybe most importantly, Brandon Wimbush. I expect I have every expectation in the world to have our first Brandon Wimbush sighting tomorrow against UMass. There's no doubt about that. And then you can rest some of these guys. Keep in mind, Notre Dame is about, I wish I had it in front of me. Notre Dame is one of very few, it's not the only one. It's not the only team in the country that opened its season with 3 Power 5 opponents in a row here. When you're talking about Texas, Virginia, and then Georgia Tech. Nobody else does that. Clemson played 2 D2 schools in its first 3 games, and that list goes on and on and on. So Notre Dame opened up with 3 Power 5 teams, got through it. So this is a good breather game for them, at least on paper. The thing about UMass, Temple is a really good team, and UMass had them beat last week. They really did. This extra point really hurt their cause. Temple beat Penn State coming into this game, and then they won at Cincinnati. Temple's a really good football team. They're actually receiving votes in the top 25 poll. They've not broken the top 25, but also receiving votes. And this is a UMass team that had them beat. Now, that being said, I just don't think, I think Notre Dame's horses are going to be plenty. And I think the ultimate goal tomorrow is to get some people some playing time, some younger guys, and my word, just get out of this thing without any injuries. Then you can go from there.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was thinking about is how fast is Brian Kelly going to want to pull the trigger on his starters? If they go up, like 28-0 by the half,
if he can.
Yeah, if they go up 3 or 4 scores by the half, you need to trot out your second team just if anything, maybe throw that little insurance chip out there to say, okay, we made it out unscathed. Let's not have any more injuries before we go to Clemson, because what's right around the corner. What's right around the corner is the college football selection committee, the playoff selection committee. And with like what you said, Notre Dame starting their season playing 3 Power 5 teams, how good is that going to look to that selection committee if Notre Dame goes into that 5-0?
Yeah, it's going to look great, and I think that it just fits the profile. Frankly, it's great of a job as CJ Procyse is doing. I mean, frankly, let's think about it, Steve. I can't help but wonder if Procyse might be a better option at tailback than Torian Folston would have been. I can't help but wonder that. This guy is amazing. And I'm not taking anything away from Folston. What a nice 1-2 punch that would have been.
Sure.
But I can't help but wonder if Procyse wouldn't have got this opportunity. But what has happened now is he's getting 20-some carries a game because Brian Kelly, on some more specific technical matters, I guess, thematical matters, he's not satisfied with these two young guys in Adams and Williams. It's more about pass blocking and sort of that arbitrary and ancillary stuff, more so than actually running the football. He's not quite confident enough there to get these guys in as he wants them to be. So I think given that factor right there, he would love to maybe limit CJ tomorrow to 10, 12, maybe 15 carries. Get him out of the game because the big stuff is coming here shortly.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of that, looking forward to the upcoming schedule that Notre Dame has. Obviously, Clemson, Navy, and then USC. These three games are just, I mean, they are going to be the gauntlet, the meat of the Notre Dame schedule. Now, if Notre Dame comes out of this schedule, I mean, let's put it this way: those three games, what are we going to be happy with? What is Brian Kelly going to be happy with? I should say, 2-1, 1-2. What's he going to be happy with coming out of these three games? Do you think it's reasonable for him to expect that?
I absolutely think it's reasonable. Clemson has struggled a little bit. They've played two crummy opponents, a couple Division II opponents. Don't have their schedule in front of me, but they struggled with their first power opponent last week. They kind of slid by with a single-digit victory. And that's a team. Clemson's a team that lost 9 starters on defense. Everybody's been kind of circling that game as really being troublesome for Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame's defense is going to hit its stride. So I think they can get that one done. I've said it all along. And Navy's Navy. I mean, it's going to be a tough game at home. USC is going to be a pain in the butt, too, here. And then you get a bye week, okay? So I honestly had every expectation of Notre Dame going 3-0 in these games. I really do. And you know me, I'm a glass half empty guy when it comes to Irish football, man. I've been through this crap too much. Every time I think there's a great things happening, that it just falls apart. But I love the depth of this team, and we're so seeing it this year. We are so seeing it this year, where it's next man. And this is the deepest team. Let's face it. You lose your starting running back, starting quarterback, starting tight end, starting nose guard. Who the hell am I missing? One of your most important defensive backs. And then your top returner, when you're talking about Sanders on the return game. Brian Kelly's previous 5 teams, this is his 6th year here, would have never been able to withstand those kind of hits.
No, it would have been over.
The hits they took last year. And I don't think any of Charlie Weiss's teams, Tyrone Willingham's, even back to Bob Davie, I don't think there's a team that Notre Dame has fielded since Lou Holtz roamed the sideline that had the depth to absorb and take these kind of injury hits that Brian Kelly's team has. And I think it goes a lot to, obviously, to his recruiting, but I think we can truly appreciate what he's done in bolstering this program up. And so I still feel fairly confident that this team can achieve great things. I think Kaiser's going to get better and better as we go here. And all this will be, it'll play out even in the next year, as it did last year with so many injuries. I mean, think about it, guys, I guess you're already alone. Think about it, guy. Matthias Farley, okay, here's a great example. Okay, Drew Tranquil goes down. Matthias Farley will fill in now for Tranquil, okay? Tranquil was a sophomore. Farley is a graduate 5th-year senior. This is a guy that has 23 career starts. He started every single game on the 2012 team that went to the national championship against Alabama.
Right.
This is a guy that has a wealth of experience, but couldn't even find the field this year. He couldn't even find the field this year because of all the talent in front of him, the younger talent in front of him. Niles Morgan, considered probably one of the top 5 best linebacker recruits ever to come to Notre Dame. He has 3 tackles this year because the talent in front of him is too great for him to get on the field. I mean, the list goes on and on. When you're talking about Kaiser and Wimbush, you're talking about 2 of the best quarterbacks when it comes to recruiting rankings, the most 2 coveted quarterbacks in the 2014, 2015 classes. I mean, it goes on and on. Look what you're getting out of CJ Procise. So I think at least what we're seeing now is Brian Kelly has done such a great job of building the depth of this program. Nobody should have to be put through what he's going through with the injury front. It almost seems unfair. But at the same time, at least he's just equipped his team well to survive it.
That is, and they survive it. They have and thrived in my opinion.
Yeah,
especially
in many respects,
when
you're exactly right.
Yeah, especially when you look at how well they've done at quarterback with Deshaun Kaiser. I mean, that he is to me just above and beyond what we could have possibly hoped as a backup quarterback, and I'm excited to see what he does when the real pressure's on, because every game so far has looked better than the last. So I'm very glad to see that. By the way, Todd Burlage with us on the hotline right now. So, Todd, before I let you go, obviously I want to get your take on the final score, and then at the same time, we got college basketball is getting ready to start up here, and what is it? Just a matter of about 3-4 more weeks. I can't wait, dude. Can't wait to get to talking about that.
Yeah, I'm a freakazoid when it comes to college hoops. I think Notre Dame does what they need to do tomorrow. I think the coaching staff will put in a game plan that absolutely makes sure that they do. You know how it goes, though. So many times these sort of underdogs that come into Notre Dame Stadium, they have nothing to lose, everything to gain, and they're going to give Notre Dame their best shot. But ultimately, I just think Notre Dame's talent will take over in this thing. No reason to think otherwise. UMass struggles offensively. But at the same time, I think we're going to see so many subs and a little bit of a disjointed look for Notre Dame. I don't know. I'm having a tough time figuring out a way where they're going to cover 30 points. They're really, I don't see that happening. So if you want to talk about the spread, I'm going to say Notre Dame 31. And I'm going to say UMass 31-7.
Oh,
Take
wow.
Take the dog. Heat him up. Heat him up.
There you go. There you go. Dogs are in the house with Todd Burlage. That's what we're doing. Hey, anyhow, Todd, man, it's great to talk to you. Glad to have another voice on here tonight. And we will catch you next week, brother. And let's get the rest of that writing done. Let's hear about some fiberglass cars.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, plenty of it to do, my friend. But thanks, Steve. I always appreciate your time, and I definitely appreciate you calling, and enjoy your show the rest of the way, my friend.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you later. Todd Burlage with us on the hotline, and man, I'll tell you what. It's funny because as a lot of you that listen, you know that I also do another spot here in South Bend for another network, and I am their Notre Dame analyst, and I actually picked almost the exact same score. I gave UMass a little more credit, and I said 31-10. So, yeah, he and I are both on the exact same wavelength there. That's pretty cool. But I really do. I think Notre Dame has looked like a team that just gets it. You know, too often in college football now, it's, you know, all about that one specific player, you know, the Jameis Winston, that Marcus Mariota, that Todd Gurley, that one player on the team. You don't see that with Notre Dame. You don't get that with Notre Dame. You know, if you go over to ESPN and watch highlights, it's not highlights of Procise. It's not highlights of Kaiser. It's not highlights of, you know, just one player. It's highlights of the entire team. And that's something that you don't see all across college football, especially nowadays. It's just, you know, nowadays is just, it's bad. It's just really bad. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that I'm very glad to see anymore, you know, really. So, anyhow, we're going to be hitting a break here in just a little bit. We got Josh Briggs coming back with us, talking about some NASCAR. The chase is underway, and it's getting hot and heavy already. So just about as hot and heavy as Morgan's and Little Black Dog Tavern and 5-Star Dive Bar. In fact, if you're in the area, you want to stop by 5-Star tonight, Shock Roxy's going to be down there, dude. They are awesome. Definitely check them out. And then Johnny Sprocket is going to be coming up Saturday night, so you definitely want to go check them out too. And if you missed it, this past Wednesday, yesterday, Morgan's Little Black Dog Tavern hosted Julia James. She is amazing. I got to meet her in person, and beautiful woman, beautiful voice, and definitely worth checking her out when she's in town. So you got to check out some of these local spots and pay attention to who they have coming up and stuff like that, because you miss out on some great talent around here, really, and you get to hear them a lot right here on XCRS Radio. So coming back, just on the other side of this, Josh Briggs, talking NASCAR. You're here, cheap seats on the X.
XCRS, Elkhart Internet Radio. Let me hear without a trace.
Hey, Linda here, host of MDG's All Access Pass. Do you like to rock? I know you do. How about some metal bands? Great, I have exactly what you're looking for. James Rowe from MDG Music Discussion Group and myself have teamed up to bring you local, regional, and national bands, news, reviews, and of course, shenanigans. Join us every Monday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, for MDG's All Access Pass. Only on the X. XCRSradio.com.
It's Maximus and the bartender. Now all of a sudden, after LeBron goes home, they couldn't wait, Big Daddy. Now Kevin Durant going back to Washington, D.C.?
Wait a minute. Durant to D.C.? I don't see that happening. Ever.
Marion Barry got reelected, remember?
Kevin Durant is not going to D.C. He's not going to. He's not being traded. He's not going to force a trade.
Remember,
he's happy in Oklahoma City with Westbrook.
D.C. where the cost of living is going up and the chance of living is going down.
Tune in every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern at XCRSradio.com.
Life is meant to be savored. If you find the reason, Morgan's and the Little Black Dog Tavern in downtown Mishawaka, Indiana will make it special. From the casual European atmosphere to the high-end tavern fare, Morgan's and the Little Black Dog Tavern give you the chance to savor every day. Stop in and savor your day with your choice of a wide variety of drinks, from a classic martini to the best beers from local breweries. Savor your day on the patio, or come in and enjoy a glass of wine with some of our mouth-watering entrees. We're located in the historic Cam Brewery Stable Building in the 100 Center in downtown Mishawaka, Indiana. Call 574-807-0101 for reservations. Like us on Facebook to find out today's food and drink specials, or stop by our website at morgansandlbd.com. Drink in the moments, feast on the memories, savor every day at Morgan's and the Little Black Dog Tavern.
Hey guys, it's the bartender for Rock Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Mishawaka, Indiana. Football season's upon us, and there's no better place to catch the game than Rock Sports Bar and Grill. Along with the best collection of memorabilia from your favorite sports greats to all the games on our big screens, Rock's has you covered. Our menu features something for everyone. Amazing sandwiches and wraps, and the best burgers around, including the Rockstar Overdose. It's 2 half-pound patties served with bacon, cheddar cheese, piled high with french fries. Make sure you got your cardiologist on speed dial for this one. Find us on Facebook to check out our daily food and drink specials that are sure to be great for your gut and easy on your wallet. We've got you covered in between game days too. Wednesday night is trivia night, where you can match wits with your buddies for great prizes. And during football season, tailgate Thursdays featuring dollar dogs, tacos, and fries. And every weekend, Rock features great acoustic music from some of Michiana's finest artists. Come see why there's no better place to get your fan fix than Rock Sports Bar and Grill, located in the Yorktown Center Building and downtown Mishawaka. For those who come to Rocks, we salute you.
And we are back. You're listening to Cheap Seats on XERS Radio. Of course, Cheap Seats brought to you by Rock Sports Bar and Grill. Of course, it's brought to you by Scooby Subs as well. And State Farm. And if you have not had a chance to double check everything this driving season, especially as we approach the holidays, you need to double check a lot of things. Double check your bank account, and you double check your Christmas shopping list and your entertainment food list, like your turkey and dressing, and double check everything. You also need to double check your discounts on your auto insurance. And you can do that through State Farm and their discount double check. Make sure you do what Aaron Rodgers does and do the discount double check. Call your local State Farm agent. If you're in my area, you can call Chris Neal. And State Farm, of course, a great sponsor of XERS Radio. And on the hotline right now is the one, the only, the Rico Suave of the evening, who has put his date night on hold to hang out with us, and that is Josh Briggs. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Tell the lucky lady that we greatly appreciate her settling in and letting you do this thing for about 15 minutes here, and you guys get right back to date night.
I'll tell you what, though, she loves your show. I tell you, Kelsey, she's a Notre Dame fan, and of course, she's a Broncos fan, and I know that didn't fit too well with you, but but hey, you know what? We're gonna have a fun night tonight. So first off, if you guys want to go see The Intern, go see it, but definitely you got to go hit up our man Bill at City Limits Lounge, because that's a heck of a time.
Absolutely. And I've seen pictures of Kelsey because she is a fan of the show. And I've seen her Facebook picture pop up every now and again, and she is a very, very pretty lady, and you are very lucky. So I must say that. And apparently she lost a bet because she stuck with you. So
I guess so. I must be doing something right. I don't know. So, but I tell you what, also, I got to put out a plug to my State Farm agent, Mr. Dean Brown. So, Dean, I hope you're listening out there, buddy. I gave you, the address as well on how to listen, and so I thought I'd put that one out there for you to help aid in the sponsorship there.
Wonderful.
But I tell you what, though, what a way to start the chase.
Oh man, wasn't it though? A fantastic way to start it.
I know, and last week with the chase getting started at the Chicagoland Speedway, who would have thought that the blood would start boiling that quickly? And with the two people that it escalated with so quickly, Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson, I don't think anybody was expecting that. But it all started when Harvick was coming through turn number 1, racing against Joey Logano, and Jimmy Johnson, he blended too early and basically crowded Harvick. So, it was a shame, because you all know how I follow Kevin Harvick very closely and the Stewart Haas Racing team. Jimmy Johnson, he should learn about, how to blend after a pit stop properly, because obviously he wasn't, but, this is going to be bad news for the competition, because now that you got Kevin Harvick fired up, he could easily win 2 out of the next 3 races. So, I think we just have to watch and see. He starts on the front row again this week for the event going on this weekend at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Carl Edwards is on the pole, and of course, Joe Gibbs Racing is white hot after Denny Hamlin got the win last week, and Joe Gibbs Racing occupies the top 4 spots currently in the chase. So if the if the next round started right now, all 4 drivers would be right there. They'd be in the first 4. So, how about that? I think if you're going to win this championship right now, you're going to have to go through Joe Gibbs Racing, like I said. I think Matt Kenseth is still the guy to beat.
17 months till I can.
But, the guy that's going to be on the mission is going to be Kevin Harvick in the 4-car. So New Hampshire is right up his alley. He won here in 2006. He finished 3rd here earlier in the season. He also got a pair of runner-up finishes last season. So, it's going to be interesting to see who, first of all, if there's going to be any more blood boiling because, New Hampshire's kind of a short track. It's a mile long. Lot of beating, a lot of banging, and a whole lot of shaking and spinning going on too. But I think if I was Kevin Harvick, being the champion that he was last year, of course he's going to want to go out for blood from the 48 car. But think like a champion. The way to pay back, just go out and win the next 2 races. That's what he should do.
And it's funny too when you think about this incident between Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson, because it kind of harkens back to last year's chase incident between Brad Keselowski and Jeff Gordon. And actually, it's funny because Jeff Gordon was actually asked about this incident last week, and he said that he knew exactly how Harvick felt, which is really funny because Johnson is his teammate. But he kind of felt like sympathy for Kevin Harvick instead. So it just kind of made me kind of raise an eyebrow when he heard about that. He just to quote him, he said, when I look at Jimmy, his sincerity of trying to patch things up with somebody I believe he respects on the track and give his side of it is admirable, just maybe off on the timing of it. So it's not like he was completely, throwing Jimmy Johnson under the bus, but at the same time for him to say, well, I see where Kevin Harvick's coming from. That it just kind of didn't exactly underscore the love that's going on in Hendrick Motorsports right now. And it just kind of makes you wonder, is there a reason why Gordon is leaving Hendrick now and not, trying to go into his golden years like we would see with like Mark Martin and a few of these other guys that have been around forever and raced well into their 50s? You have Jeff Gordon, who seems to be leaving the game a little early in these terms, and maybe there's a little undertone here as to why. And I might just be crazy too, but.
I don't know. Going back to what you said about Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon, they've actually kind of had a few run-ins, as you remember back in 2010, early on in the season, and he actually said, and I quote, "The 48 is testing his patience." So, Jeff Gordon, I kind of consider the end of the old guard. He was kind of the young guy that came up, and he molded very well with a lot of the older drivers like a Mark Martin and Jeff Burton and Bobby Labonte. But, Jeff Gordon, he's pretty much done it all. He's proved everything. He doesn't have anything else to prove. So, I think Jeff Gordon I think he's walking away at a great time. And, he's going to be lending his services in another way next year, being in the Fox Sports booth for the Sprint Cup Series races. So, if you guys haven't heard Jeff Gordon in the announcer booth, wow, is all I got to say. He's very informative, and he's very energetic, and it kind of opened my eyes to a new version of Jeff Gordon that I've never seen before, and, frankly, I like it. So, it's just, I don't think we'll be lost without Jeff at all. So, you got Chase Elliott that's going to be taking over for him in 2016. He's a great kid. He's a very quick study. So yeah, I think, next year is going to be fun to see how he does. Jimmy Johnson, I think he's kind of off to a very controversial start, mind you. And, when Jimmy Johnson gets embroiled in controversy in the chase, it doesn't really bode well for him, because I don't know if you remember 2011 with him and Kurt Busch. They ruffled each other's feathers a lot in the chase, and it didn't really go well because Johnson had a lot of accidents in the chase, and he just, let's just say Kurt Busch kind of got in his head a little bit, and it rattled his cage. And, same with Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson in 2012. Keselowski got into his head as well, and then Brad Keselowski ended up winning the championships. So, maybe that little incident's going to work for Kevin Harvick, in the sense that, Harvick knows that Johnson should be watching his, what. So I'd be saying a lot of things, but, with our friends at the FCC, can't really say that.
So let's move on to this weekend, and give me a few guys to watch out for this weekend. Okay, well, as you know, last week I said Kevin Harvick was going to win this weekend at New Hampshire. I'm still going with that. I know Kevin Harvick, especially after last week, he's going to be the guy to beat. He's going to make sure he keeps all the trouble and controversy in his rear view this week. So, being the champion that he is, I think he's going to go out. He's going to lead the most laps. He's going to win this race. Also, other drivers that we need to look out for, probably Matt Kenseth as well. Carl Edwards, I know he's off to a great start. He's on the pole for Sunday. He's won a couple times at New Hampshire. So, yeah, it's either going to, I still think it's going to be either Kevin Harvick or somebody from Joe Gibbs. Even Kyle Busch, he won there back in July, and I know Detterman is all about Kyle Busch. So, that's pretty much it there. But it's New Hampshire. Anything can happen. So, but yeah, Kevin Harvick, I still have to make him the guy to beat. So, so fans, if you're watching this weekend, definitely make sure you keep starting the Gibbs drivers, Kevin Harvick, or even Brett Keselowski or Joey Logano for that matter from Penske. But if you're going to be having a little get together and you want to watch the race, check it out on Sunday at 1:00. It'll be on NBCSN. So if you got that on your cable channels, more power to you. If not, and it'll be on your Sprint Cup Mobile on MRN Radio. There you go.
Then the next week we'll be wrapping up the Challenger round already at the Dover Speedway. And we'll have more next week, and can't wait to talk to you again.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's going to be coming down to the wire here very shortly. So I know. And what's that? No, go ahead. But yeah, so it's just I think the playoffs are going to go really fast, just like the NCAA tournament, and all of a sudden it's going to be time to see who's going to be in the Final Four. Absolutely, and then and of course we will have you right back on to break it all down. So you're going to be going out. You're going out on a date night. Where are you guys headed? Any place special, or is this just average date night, or what?
Well, we're going to Prime Table up in Niles for dinner. Really good little restaurant. It's pretty quiet. You can actually hear each other think and have good conversation. And then we're going to go to see The Intern, which is opening up tonight. I'm a huge Robert De Niro fan, and I know kind of a chick flick, so there you go.
So really nice dinner at Prime Table. Gonna go see a chick flick. Oh, I see how this is gonna end. This will be fantastic for you, anyway. Okay. Well, I mean, it's going to end with you paying for the cab and and going home. That's how it's going to end.
I don't know about that, but I tell you what, though, date nights anymore, especially in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, they're a premium, and so I mean, with you and the kids, you definitely know how it is. And,
trust me, we know exactly how it is.
Yeah, and I just. A lot of people that I hang out with that are married and kids, they know that I want to be like them, and man, it's a great time right now, and
I say enjoy.
Spread the good vibes to people.
Yeah, enjoy the kidless life right now because when the day comes that you can't use the bathroom without somebody tapping on the door asking you to fix a ponytail or something while you're trying to do some paperwork in the men's room, that's all of your dignity goes out the window at that point.
Yeah, that's okay though. I'm really looking forward to every opportunity that I get, and like I said last week, with everything that the good Lord bestows upon us, you just gotta embrace every opportunity, and it really makes you think of the good people that are in your life and makes you embrace them more. So, and especially with right now what's going on with you, I mean the good people are definitely important to have. So,
absolutely.
If this has taught me one thing, it definitely says surround with good people, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Oh, that's why we surround ourselves with you every week, buddy. So
that's right, and I can't wait to come in and see you guys again, and we'll definitely talk next week for sure.
Sounds good. Well, go enjoy your date night. We'll talk to you next week, Josh.
Yes, sir. Warrior up, baby.
All right, buddy. Warrior up. That is Josh Briggs on the XERS radio hotline. Well, it's been a great night. It's actually been a really good run tonight. There was had a lot of stuff go on. We really did. And there is so much in the world of sports that we don't get to cover because this is a 1 day out of the week, 1 2-hour time slot show. So there's a lot we don't get to cover. And there's big stories, there's deep stories, there's really light stories. And then there's the run of the mill, the humdrum, and we try and find a way to just like put everything together here that we can deliver to the people that listen, that you guys take the time out of your day to listen to this 2-hour show, whether it be, on the podcast later or, here and now. And we greatly appreciate that. And so we try and bring you a little bit of everything. And what I was thinking about doing, and this is an idea, and I'm going to throw this out there, and if you guys like it, you can tweet the response. I was actually thinking about listener suggestions through the week. So if you have an idea, hey, this really want you guys to talk about this. We're actually I'm thinking about coming up with a Twitter handle for something like that. And that way, every week we go into like pre-production, we get ready to start talking about, okay, what are we going to talk about this week? And we can pull up that handle. Just kind of say, okay, well, somebody wants us to talk about this, and somebody else wants us to talk about this. Now, obviously, we can't get to everything, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's just something I'm kicking around out there because we want to be full service to you. I get 2 hours on the week to talk to you guys about this, and so we want to make sure that we're hitting everything that you guys want. So just a random thought. So anyhow. Yeah, I got Notre Dame winning big this weekend. The two games, you always, every time you look at an NFL schedule, it doesn't matter if it's week 1 or it's week 16. You look at the NFL schedule, you always find a couple of games on there. You go, man, those are going to be tight games. They're going to be really good games. Then you find a couple of games that you look at it and you're like, oh my God, the only way this team's losing is if they can't get off the plane, and I found those games. Yeah, found those this weekend. The Bears and the Seahawks is one of them, and oh my gosh, when you look at that game, you're just like, really? The Bears now, Jay Cutler's out. You got Jimmy Clausen playing the quarterback role, and they don't look. I mean, they're missing their star wide receiver. Now they're missing their quarterback. Todd Burlage was talking about how Notre Dame is just getting one injury after another. Well, the Bears are doing the same thing, and unfortunately, their team is not deep enough to be able to handle stuff like that. But now they have to go to Seattle. Seattle is full strength now on defense, and they're just it's going to be a hurt. I mean, there are only a few games that I'll look at and go, wow, that's going to be a whooping. Well, that is going to be a good old fashioned whooping, and I don't really know how you'd put it any other way. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad, guys. And if you're a Bears fan, the only thing you can do is just say, hey, we weren't really expecting to be a playoff team this year, and now without Jay Cutler, you're definitely not. I mean, as bad as what some people say he is, he's still a good quarterback for the most part, and he would normally give you at least some kind of real relative opportunity of winning, but yeah, with him out, that really lessens the chance. It really does. And the other game that I saw, I was looking at these, and where was it? It was, I think it was a New England game. Who were they playing? It was well, if I can find it. Oh, yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, look at this. Jacksonville Jaguars got to come into Gillette Stadium. Jacksonville. Oh, yeah, by the way, Jacksonville, you had a great game last week. Here's what you're rewarded with. The New England Patriots. Yeah. Tom Brady, who's on an absolute tear. That offense that looks like they're running on all cylinders. They're going to have no answer for Rob Gronkowski. They're just, Jacksonville's going to get beat so bad. They're going to be crying uncle by halftime. It's just going to be terrible. So it's horrible. Anyhow, Steve Detterman, just to throw it out there, he's got 3 NFL games. His 3 NFL picks, Cincinnati on the road over Baltimore, the Falcons over the Cowboys, and then he has Green Bay over Kansas City. And he wants me to pick San Diego at Minnesota, the Bills at the Dolphins, and Kansas City at Green Bay. So, of course, I want to pick Kansas City at Green Bay. We're going to go head-to-head on that. I think the Chiefs could go into Lambeau and steal a victory. I really do. If Eddie Lacy is hurt, I think the Chiefs win. So I'm gonna take Kansas City just to go the opposite way of him, just to do that. The San Diego Minnesota game, you got to take Minnesota there. You really do. San Diego does not look phenomenal right now. Minnesota is firing on all cylinders. It's at home. San Diego's rarely good when they have to travel across the Mississippi River. Then the Bills at the Dolphins. I like what Rex Ryan's doing in Buffalo. I think they do have a shot to beat Miami there. And even though Tannehill's looking good in Miami, but I think the Bills have a shot. I can't believe Detterman's taking Falcons over the Cowboys. Yeah, no faith. No faith in Brandon Weeden. Are you serious? No, you know what? I actually like that pick. I like what the Falcons did last week, and they look like if the Cowboys can't come up with a way to contain Julio Jones, I could see the Falcons coming up with a whole lot of points against that defense. So you can beat Dallas's defense deep. And that's exactly what Matt Ryan will try and do. And I think it is possible. I don't like to say that, but I think it's possible. So anyhow, that's going to wrap it up for us. I think we're pretty much wrapping it up here. And just remember, if you missed any of the show, you got to check it out on Spreaker, on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeartRadio and search The Cheap Seats. And there we are. You know, and you can always find me on Twitter at TCS Willis is my handle. Cheap Seats Willis on Instagram. Couldn't even think of that. And of course, we're always on Facebook, facebook.com, and search The Cheap Seats with Steve. Kelsey, looks like you're the winner. You got yourself a jersey. Congratulations. She is our winner in the last jersey. And I think it's a big jersey, though, so you're probably going to have to use it as a night shirt. Don't know. It depends on how big of a girl you are. Not like there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. I'm going to get out of here before I get sued. We're going to get you back to music here in just a second. You listen to The Cheap Seats on XERS Radio.
The cherry, the Cyrus, the Popo Penelope, one time, alphabet boys, the letters.